this is Katie with Crafting with Katie, and today I'm going to be making this Valentine's tag using a technique that's new to me, which is to use some dies to actually emboss on paper instead of cut the paper. I used the My Creative Time tag dies to cut this scallop tag out of paper tray ink rustic white cardstock. And now I'm going to use this sentiment that says, "You are loved so very much," from the new My Creative Time Puffy Hearts Just For You stamp set. This is a cute little Valentine set with lots of fun sentiments. And I'm going to actually go ahead and stamp the sentiment before I do my embossing, just so I know where to emboss so that I don't accidentally emboss where the sentiment would go. So I'm using my Fisker stamp press, and I'm inking it up with Memento Tuxedo Black ink. And then I'm just going to go ahead and stamp this into the bottom right corner. Now this embossing technique is really fun. I learned it from Jennifer McGuire's blog. And you go ahead and you set up your sandwich like you are going to emboss, but you need to use like an embossing mat. And I got this one from Paper Tray Ink. So I'm putting that on top of my cutting plate, and then I'm putting my paper on top of that. And then I'm using some various heart dies that I have from My Creative Time. And I will have these all linked up on my blog so you can see exactly which ones I used. But I'm just kind of spreading them out where I want them. And because I'm not using the wafer thin adapter plate, it's not going to actually cut them. It's only going to emboss them. So I'll just go ahead and run this through the vagabond. But you can use this with do the same technique with a Cuttlebug or Big Shot, whatever you have. So now when you remove all of the heart dies, you end up with this really fun embossing. So the one thing to be careful of is when you cut your dies apart is to make sure you get those little metal pieces off. Otherwise you're going to get little lines coming off of the hearts, which I found I had at first, so I had to go back and remove all of those. Now I'm going to add some accents using this Love Me paper pack from My Mind's Eye. And the first thing I'm going to do is make a little background tag for using this hexagon red paper piece. So I'm going to make another scallop tag, but this time I'm going to make it a little bit longer than I did the first time. So first I'm going to cut just the bottom part of the tag. So I'm going to run it through the vagabond, but just cut the bottom part and then stop the rest of the die from going through the actual vagabond. Okay, so here is what we got when I ran it through just part way. You can see it just cut about halfway up. So now I'm going to line this up. So I only have about maybe a half a centimeter of the tag that I already cut showing. And I'm just trying to line up the stitching on the sides. Just get it, really set in place. And the nice thing about having the stitching is you can kind of get it stuck exactly in position. So once I have that in there, I can run it through again. So this time, when I put it on my plate, I'm going to keep the part that's I don't want cut, which is that scalloped edge, extended off of the plate, so there's no way that it can be cut. And then I can just run the entire thing through the vagabond, and that part will not cut. And now I have a nice tag that's just slightly longer than the original one that I made. In this My Creative Time stitched round tab arrow and tag dies, there's this cute little round tab that actually works on most of the My Creative Time tags. And I'm going to use it with this same pattern just to give it a little pop of color at the top. So I'm going to go ahead and cut that with the vagabond. The next thing I want to do is use that arrow from the Stitch Mini Frame and Arrow die. And I'm going to use some really fun burlap paper that I got. It's from Die Cuts with a View, and it's this burlap paper stack. And I thought it'd be fun just to add a little texture to the tag. So I'm just going to cut a piece that will work with this. And this actually runs through the die cutting machine pretty well. You just have to run it through a few times because it is really thick. So here's our little arrow. Doesn't that come out so cute with the burlap? I just love how it looks. The tag definitely needs something else. So I'm pulling out my other set of dies. This is the 4x4 journal die plus more die. And there are these cute little hearts and stars that I thought could be cute on here, but there's also this sweet little banner. So I'm thinking I might use that. And I love how it has little hearts on it. So I think actually I am going to go ahead and use that one for this. And I'm going ahead and using this same hexagon paper, just kind of keep it consistent here. I think it's a really cute paper too. And I like this darker red with the burlap. It looks very cute. So here's the little banner. And it's a little longer, so I'll just need to trim it a bit. So I think what I'm going to do is just cut off the two little banner shapes at the end, but keep the, like what would be the string part of it, and then I can cut off the excess that I don't need. What I love about this banner is that the inside parts are little hearts. That's very sweet. So that will just go right across there. So I think that's actually enough. The hearts that are embossed give it a nice look, so I don't want to overwhelm it, and the little arrow is just a nice touch. So I'm going to go ahead and put this tag together. To finish this off, I'm going to add some ribbon from Paper Tray Ink. I have some dark chocolate satin ribbon right at the end of this, but I think I'll have enough. So I'm just going to push this through the center here, and I'm actually going to end up using some hemp to tie it together. You can see that the sticker on there left a little mark, so I'm going to cut off the end of that ribbon and just trim off. I think I'll just cut it at a square. And then this hemp I got from Liz's Paper Loft Boutique, but unfortunately she closed her business. I'm going to use that to tie it. And for some reason when I tie bows, they always come out upside down. So to solve that, I just tie them upside down now. And then they come out perfectly. So I'm just going to go ahead and tie that together, and that will finish off the tag. And I'll just cut off a little bit of the excess here, and that finishes off our tag. Thank you so much for watching.